Thanks. I'm talking with Michelle, and the subject is preventing burnout. Startups are fun and hard, and people are under a ton of pressure. And I'll rattle off a few things that I try to do. And this is mostly about prevention, not like after someone's burned out and what do you do to recover. First of all, the earlier you identify, the better. So check in with each other, ask how it's going. Remote, that's harder, but you can still see if someone is exhausted and or no longer enthusiastic about things. But you can also ask, like, how are you doing? Make sure people take time off. And also, so it can sometimes be like half days and things like that. Vacations, one way I nudge people towards vacations is telling them about mine. So like if the boss has vacations, it's more easy to take a vacation as a report. One way I check with them, I ask when their next vacation is, and if they don't have one planned, I encourage them to do so. Also, like if someone's struggling, you lower the pressure, of goals, of OKRs, you ask about the goals less frequently. You're more positive about them, about their reports. Your manager is probably a significant source of your stress. Most of the time, there's too much work for too few people. So try to look at ways for more headcount. That can also be temporarily. You borrow someone from another team, or you ask it for for someone from the chief of staff team, or you give them a budget for consultants to help or something like that. Of course, as a manager, you're coaching them, but sometimes an external coach can especially help kind of opening up about struggles and complaining about your manager, which is kind of hard to do to your manager. Although it's a frequent topic of conversation, but it's even easier to an external person. Pointing them to mental health care options at GitLab, that we have those available. They're paid for by the company. The company won't be receiving information from them. Also, kind of expressing gratitude. So sending gifts to their home if you know that they like something. I think the quirkier, the better. This was an example from yesterday, but and it was in my personal life. But I know someone likes biking, and he was complaining about Dutch bikers kind of blocking the path. So I bought a big horn for him to mount on his bike and be able to warn those people in advance. Also, a lot of burnout is due to a lack of a sense of progress. And it's like raising children, although I don't have experience with that, but like if you're with them every day, you don't see the progress as much as someone who checks in once a month and they're like, oh, wow, they're doing a lot better. So make sure you kind of create those moments to recognize progress. And it can be like, well, congrats on your meeting a certain numeric goal, or congrats on personal growth, or things like that. Sympathize, like have conversations about like how tough it is. And then that's, as a manager, you don't have to pretend the work is easy. It is hard. Talk about it in the one-to-one. Lead by example in setting boundaries, especially time boundaries. Like I don't respond to Slack after 6 o'clock most days. I don't work weekends. That's also an example you're setting for other people.
This one, and if don't mind for the purpose of the blog, I can ask it after, or I'll ask it now. This one I struggle with, and I assume you've probably had challenges with this before. I'm pretty hard set with my boundaries. I have a family after 6 on the weekends, but I'm also a highly productive person. And so I know this, that I operate at a different speed than other folks do. How have you noticed that in when you're managing other folks, that it becomes difficult for folks to benchmark themselves because it's just a it's not good or bad, it's just a different
No.
work style.
Yeah. I'm also like per hour worked, I'm pretty effective. So I get away with working fewer hours
Yeah.
Than other people. There's no magic formula. One
Yeah.
thing is help them become more effective. Ask
Yeah.
them, go do a meeting review with them. Like, hey, let's look at your calendar together, see which meetings I might be able to get you out of, and
Yeah.
focus on meeting prep, like why the length of meetings, and are people presenting in meetings? Could that have been done asynchronous? Things like that. And then talk with them about like what they're working on. Sometimes they're spending a huge amount of time on stuff that's either not important or really someone else should do it, or it can be delayed. Like have them push out stuff. Also have them name things they won't do. So what are you not going to do? And then especially with perfectionists, I have them name things that are likely to fail. They're like, well, nothing's going to fail. I'm on everything. Okay, no, but I want you to be sloppy in like, don't put the normal amount of effort and have it go sideways. And then you can do that both up front, but also say, okay, well, we agree you were going to reduce quality to kind of work fewer hours. Like, where have you last month? Like, what went kind of sideways because you reduced your effort? It's been remarkably effective, and some perfectionists can like spend half the time they normally do on stuff and still get it done up to the kind of the company standard.
I have found our value of iteration super helpful in reminding folks that, hey, startups are fun and we're iterating, right? So if it's not perfect, but it moves the ball forward, what are some things that you can let go of to be able to feel as if you're making progress rather than stressing out over the details?
Yep. And of course, like shifting some of their workloads to peers or to their reports, and also informing people they deal with, like, hey, take it easy on that person. Like there's and depending on who it is, you can share more or less, or they're in a tough time, or they have something going on in their family life. Just next 2 weeks, take it as easy as you can.
That's super helpful. I'm going to jump around up to 17 because we talked about iteration a little bit.
Cool. I'm going to end this
okay.
video.
No, that's very